Dear Shrestha viewers, welcome to Shrestha Gnanadayini. Today our concepts are heat wave, tropical cyclones and tidal waves. We are going to discuss in depth about all these three concepts today. So before going into the video, if you are new to my channel, then don't forget to subscribe to my channel Shrestha Gnanadayini, hit the bell icon and keep watching for more of my videos and like and share it all most of your people. So while let's get into the video. So firstly we are going to discuss about the heat wave. When we are talking about this heat wave, it is like a period of excessively hot weather, yes or no, and this is characterized by with a huge amount of humidity, and this heat wave is like can last for several days or weeks. So when this heat wave occurs, what happens is when a system of the highest atmospheric pressure moves onto an area, such in a higher pressure system, air from upper levels of our atmosphere is pulled to the ground. So what happens there is where it becomes compressed and increases in the temperature, the high concentration of pressure makes it difficult for higher other weather systems. So when this is leading, then other weather systems gets weak to move into an area. The longer the system stays in the area, the hotter the air becomes. So the highest pressure system prevents clouds to enter to the region, and then this leads to sunlight heats up of the system even more, and this combination of these factors that act together to create the exceptionally hot temperatures, that is heat waves. The heat waves are affected by different ways. And how does it affect human beings? In many ways. So what are those things that how heat waves affect us is like, heat wave is very dangerous to us because sunlight may overheat the body. That is called sunstrokes sometimes, yes or no. So people say don't go out in the summer seasons, so we be careful from sunstrokes etc. And most common thing is like we get dehydrated. The most of the time if we spend without having any fluids or any items, our body gets dehydrated soon. So it is best to keep on sipping water for every half an hour or 1 hour or something like that. Take more amount of fluids, and depletion of salt or electrolyte in the body may cause the heat cramps. So heat cramps are very painful things, and depletion of salt, some salts or the electrolytes that is losing in your body, that may also create the cramps. So always try to drink some kinds of juices, coconut water or something, this kind of homemade lassi, sharbats etc. And heat can cause heat strokes, sunstroke as I said you, and circulatory collapse. So people with higher sunstroke, there is much less chances of surviving, because that heat effect, it will be in that way that they cannot tolerate. Again, as I said you, the immunity power is important here, and thousands of people may die due to hypothermia. And thousands of people suffering from heat, what will they do? They stress when their bodies absorb more heat than they expel. So some bodies are very heat bodies, and whenever you have like, whenever we touch someone, they say like, oh, you are so like your hand is burning or something like that. So always the body is filled up with heat energy. Wherever we talk, wherever we put our hands, that place becomes hot, like we turn like a simple iron box. So just kidding, but that really affects our health, so be careful from that. Elevated ozone concentration at this time of hot waves, what happens, it irritates the mucous membrane and causes illness of the respiratory systems also. So what happens when you get dehydrated, and when it causes these kinds of things, you get a kind of sensation, itchings or some kind of pain in your throat, and then also it it makes you suffer with your respiratory systems, like breathing gets difficult in that times. And about the tropical cyclones, what happens now, this tropical cyclones is an intense circular storm that originates over hot, warm, tropical oceans. What happens then? That comes from there, it is characterized by low atmospheric pressure, higher winds and higher rain. The warm, moist air over the ocean rises upwards, and then what happens near to the surface? Air from surrounding areas with higher air pressure, what happens? It pushes to the lower pressure area. Then what happens is that new air becomes warm and moist and rises too. As the warm air continues to rise, the surrounding air swirls into the place it is, and as it is warmed, moist, rises and cools off, the water in the air forms clouds because of these reasons. And then what happens because of these reasons? When it forms clouds, the whole system of clouds and winds spins and grows, fed by the ocean's heat and water evaporating from the surface. As the storm system rotates faster and faster, an eye forms on the center. It is very calm and clear in the eye with very low air pressure. High pressure air from above flows into the eye. What happens at that time? When the wind speeds reach up to 74 mph, the storm is called tropical cyclone. So when the wind reaches 74 mph, that storm is at a higher level and it is called tropical cyclone. Why I repeated this point is because it is very important. Underline it please. And tropical cyclones usually weaken when it is like a hit land, because they are no longer beings like fed by energy from the warm ocean waters. It causes lot of damage before it dies. So this all are about the tropical cyclone. Next we are going to discuss about the tidal waves. What it is? It is about the tidal waves and how does it affect. So tide, which means, as you know, tide is an alternate or regular rise or fall of the sea level. So sometimes you can see at the sea level always you will have the tides and waves. So in the ocean, regular rise and fall, sometimes it will be rising, sometimes it will be falling. So another large bodies of water, that tidal wave is like a shallow water wave caused by gravitational interactions between the sun, moon and earth. On the other side of earth closest to the moon, the ocean surface bulges out. An equal bulge in the surface of the ocean occurs on the side of earth opposite to the moon. Is the between two bulges, the ocean surface is depressed due to movement of water towards the bulges. Now it seems so complicated. Even though I am explaining it, you have to find a little concentration on this, because there are many different terms that are coming ahead. While using it, we have to be conscious and we have to be clear. So understand this concept clearly. As this moon rotates, what happens around the earth? The bulges move as well, resulting in 2 high and 2 low tides per day at most 2 locations on the coast, with a tidal period of approximately 12 hours. How many hours? 12 hours. So the exact amount of the tides is dependent on the shape and ocean bottom along with the coast. So this can have a significant effect on the height and period of the tide along with the coast, and that measures the tidal curves and waves, etc. So this is like some coastal geometrics are there, that is have a right size shape to produce amplified tides that results in very high tidal ranges, and some locations in the Bay of Fundy, some Nova Scotia experience a tidal range of over 40 feet. So this is about some tidal waves information that I have given you. Now the effects of tides. What will happen? The tidal current clear away the river sediments and slows down the growth of delta. So now it is again affecting that, the delta, and it cuts the river segments. It increases the depth of water, which helps ships to move safely to the ports, and it also acts as a source for producing electricity. As you know, water, electricity is used for that is for electricity. So these are some effects and concepts about tidal waves, tropical cyclones, and about heat waves and its effects. So I hope I made relevant to the video. For more interesting videos like this, stay tuned to Shrestha Gnanadayini. Hit the bell icon, like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.